This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised, as the content may include strong language, adult themes, and topics not suitable for younger listeners.
This podcast has no affiliation with any sports leagues or sports programs discussed on the show. The views expressed are those of the host and the guest, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organizations. Enjoy the show.
Someone edit a basketball in here. I can't do it with a real one. I can't do it. Edit the basketball in here.
Put the basketball over behind my thing.
Welcome to the Blitz the Book episode for January 24th. We have a great but abbreviated episode for you guys today.
Yep.
We're just doing the hits.
Absolutely.
UFC 324, Paramount Plus.
Yep. Oh, special.
What else we got? Football? What football
We got a little bit of football. We have the AFC and NFC Championships.
Some say that this decides the best of the NFC and the AFC.
I've heard that, and not just from you. I've heard it from a very reliable source, Slippery Gary.
He sells a lot of lotions.
He's our lotion guy.
Remember, if you have any lotion needs, Slippery Gary is the one you want to call. Slippery guy.
Oh, yeah. Can't get a hold of that guy.
You can't get a hold of him on his phone either. It makes no sense.
Just burners. Just snapping phones, throw them away.
He might actually sell drugs. Does Slippery Gary not just sell lotions? He might sell drugs?
That makes a lot of sense. I saw a ton of cocaine at his house when I was picking up my last thing of.
That would mean he sells drugs, Tommy.
I just thought someone that enjoys that much brown sugar, brown cinnamon lotion just enjoys the finer nose candy. I didn't really put two and two together.
You think it was like powdered sugar?
I don't know what I thought. I was just so interested and intrigued by the lotion. It was a great lotion. Moisturized, healing, almond butter, all the great stuff.
Even energizing powder.
Did give me a contact high. I was awake for 3 days.
Huh. As long as it gets in your bloodstream, I guess.
I wrote so much bad poetry.
So many slam poetry. So much slam poetry, especially about the Rams.
Sean McVay, why won't you just go away?
You know who's gay? Sean McVay. I don't know why my hands are moving as much as they do.
When you do slam poetry, you gotta use your hands to enunciate and show how slammed someone.
Rams, grams, cocaine, brocane.
Hey, I think we almost wrote something like just off the cuff.
But we also are going to talk about NHL hockey a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a little bit about NBA
Got
basketball.
a little ball.
We would talk about college basketball, but I don't know what's going on right now. It's not March yet.
No, there's been some small little ramblings. WVU, Marshall still holding up strong. Still very good in their divisions. And
I believe Kim rolled Alabama the other day with
Nice.
the Lady Vols. That's good news. Good news.
Very good, very
We're
good.
big Kim guys, as you've seen from the other show.
Absolutely. So yeah, we got a little bit of all the sports. We're abbreviated on length, not on the jokes though. We're
Just like I say about my penis.
it's nothing to laugh at.
And it's not about the size. It's about how much time they get with it. Because, I blast quick.
Which is also very short.
Yeah, trigger finger. Trigger finger. All right, guys, but we're going to go ahead and not waste any more time. We're going to get to it. We're going to pick the AFC and the NFC Championship right now, right after this. We're going to do that right now. We're doing that now.
Absolutely.
Now. All right, so we have the AFC Championship matchup. We have the Patriots coming in as the second seed versus the 1 seed Denver Broncos. Boring if you ask me. 1 versus 2. What is this?
Yeah, no kidding.
But we have the Patriots. I will say that I feel like their journey here has been easy. The Texans threw them the ball more times than they threw it to their own team. Stroud looked terrible.
Yeah.
People are calling for him to be benched, and things Tommy's been calling for all season. To be honest with you.
I predicted this years ago when he got drafted.
He did. He's not a Stroud boy. He's more a member of Bryce's.
Bryce is in the kitchen.
Bryce's is in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen was on Pardon My Take. He said he's a member of Bryce's. They actually asked him that way. They're like, Bryce's, for Bryce Young. He was like, the only reason I came back to the Carolina Panthers for the second year was because of Bryce Young. He's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
He is a good dude. Not a great quarterback, he's a good dude. We have the Denver Broncos limping into this game. Josh Allen sent Josh Allen home crying. We don't love that.
No.
Got their coach fired, who fires their coach that's one of the most winningest coaches in the past 9 years. Also, which is a weirder stat line, he is the winningest coach to not make it to the Super Bowl.
I believe it.
So that's pretty crazy. He just does not get the later playoff wins because most of the time it's like AFC Championship loss. Like one game before making it, and then he loses.
Yeah, how many times? It was like 2 or 3 in a row they got straight to the Chiefs and lost.
Yeah, or the one year they lost to the Bungles.
Yeah.
The Bungles. Bungles never made it back.
Yeah, and the Bills are no longer in their own stadium now because of this.
But Bo Nix took the break-a-leg chant, or not the chant, what do they call it?
Little saying.
Little saying, a little too seriously, broke that ankle. A lot of people saying he might have broke it after. Have you heard this? They said he was skipping off the field when that game ended.
Oh. Ooh.
Which, adrenaline is a hell of a drug, we'll all say that. But is it that good that you're skipping on a broken ankle? Leaving the field, and you can't play the next week.
Well, it depends how bad that break is. I could see a hairline fracture or something, you not knowing it's as bad as it is with it taped up, compression on it. I could see you skipping, because I don't know if everyone knows this, but I am a skipping aficionado. I judge the Las Vegas Skipping Open Tournament every year.
If there's a way to travel, Tommy prefers skipping to it.
Skipping, I think, is the most efficient and funnest way of getting from place to place. So skipping uses a lot of toe movements and doesn't use a lot of heel. And so depending on where the ankle fracture is, his skipping may actually be indicating that it was worse than we thought. He just wouldn't know because he's skipping, of course. So
but yeah, there are rumors that he might have injured himself in the locker room and broke his ankle, and that's why we never really noticed until after the game has concluded.
I wouldn't tell anyone the truth even if I had to.
Because, I mean, look at what happened with Indiana in the game before the championship. That guy got injured celebrating with his team, totally blew his knee out when the game was over right before the national championship.
Yep.
It's happened, so maybe this recency bias happened twice.
Don't know.
We don't know. Jarrett Stidham is the starter, and the Vegas has moved the lines to accommodate that, because I think had the Denver Broncos had Bo Nix, they would be the favorite here.
Easy.
At home, in a place that is tough to play no matter out of everyone's home base.
Yeah, Mile High.
And in the winter, where it's going to be cold, which, I mean, New England is not new to cold, but they are new to that high altitude.
Yeah.
So we are going in Jarrett Stidham, a former New England Patriots quarterback who they used to have a lot of high hopes for, coming in, having to start for the Broncos, hasn't played many snaps this year at all. Of course, Sean Payton is talking him up because you have to. He's going to have to play. You're not going to tell him he's going in to lose.
Well, yeah.
You got to get him ready.
Do you think it's too late for them to get Joe Flacco?
I've saw rumors that said, for some reason, Cam Newton, which I'm not a Cam Newton guy right now. You know what? Fuck Cam Newton. He took Monday to talk hella shit about Josh Allen, not being clutch and all this. Cam, you had one good fucking season, my guy. One. And it was mostly because of that defense you had.
It was a good defense.
So shut the fuck up. You're mostly known for wearing your grandma's hats.
I do like some of those hats. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's really not fitting for Cam Newton, a guy who really didn't achieve much, to be talking that much against currently active players achieving pretty well consistently.
Yeah, but for some reason there were rumors that saying like maybe, because he is in shape, Cam Newton, that the Broncos would reach out to him and be like, do you want to play? But on a week's notice, you're not going to play that person in the Super Bowl. At least the other guy's been there. He knows your offense.
I wouldn't pull Tom Brady out of retirement to fill this void. Like, you're right, a week's notice with
for the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year,
versus a backup who has played a few snaps.
Oh, it's not Super Bowl. It'd be the
Not
AFC Championship.
but exactly. This is not the time to lose faith in your guys. I'm sorry, you're going to have to act like a coach and maybe coach a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you do need to probably procure, which, I mean, you have practice squad guys. You want someone that can come in and be the backup if the worst happened, and Stidham also got hurt.
Yeah.
That's worst case scenario, and no one is thinking that in their head that, like, he's probably going to get hurt. We need to have a third option. You're hoping that this is it, that at least if y'all win, he can ride out the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah, what are you going to be, the Browns, and have 5 quarterbacks on the roster?
Someone who spoke out after all this happened was Nick Foles to give them a little bit of encouragement to say, one, he doesn't have film they can watch on like what he likes to do, what he does well.
Yeah.
That's a problem for them on preparing for Stidham.
Sure.
But even though he used to be in their locker room, so they do have film of what he used to do well there. It's just kind of...
Dude, this guy can't throw past 20 yards. We're fine.
And that's what they said. Drew Brees was also mentioned. They're like, he openly says he can't throw over 35 yards right now because his arm's not in shape.
I believe it.
So you'd be pretty much calling in Phillip Rivers again. Maybe they call Phil. Hey, Phil, you never played the Super Bowl before. You want to try? But, alas, here we are. This is the game we got. Stidham versus Drake May. New England Patriots are coming in as a -5.5 favorite at Denver. Moneyline -265, over under 42.5. The matchup predictor is now swayed toward New England to match the money line. 59.1% to New England, 40.9% to the Broncos. The statistics are pretty close, even though the passing does go to Drake May, but they're ranked against Bo Nix. Also, I already knew this, but I didn't think about it. J.K. Dobbins is still on IR.
Yeah.
When is he not at this point? I think every year of the fucking year he's ended on IR.
Yeah.
Everything is swaying toward the Patriots, even if the Denver Broncos had all their starters in.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of leaning toward the Patriots. They've been on a bit of a roll. They are great defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel is a strong coach. He's a player's coach. We can see that from the video footage they get on the sideline and of him at practice. He waits on all of them to come through the locker into the tunnel before he goes into the locker room. He is a player's first coach guy, and I think that's the type of guy that the players want to win for, not only themselves, they want to win for coach.
Yeah.
And I think when you're a professional, you don't always get that. Sometimes you're here because I'm here for the paycheck. That's why we're winning, and the coach could be fucking anybody.
Exactly.
So I think that does play here a little bit. I don't know that the Patriots cover. They hung, like I said, as many times as the Texans handed them the fucking ball.
I just want to look at some Patriots.
As much as the Patriots were handed the ball from the Texans, at halftime, the Texans were 100% still in that game.
Yeah.
So I don't like the cover to lead off. I'm leaning toward Minnesota, or not Minnesota. I'm leaning toward New England to money line, which is not a great odds. If I had to pick where Broncos defense is what's good, basically, and it doesn't rely heavily on their offense to do. I think under is where I'm leaning a little bit on this one.
I am also going to tail that under. I'm going to parlay that under with the Patriots money line because I'm also not convinced they'll cover a spread. Mostly because the Broncos defense is still intact. They're still playing in Mile High Stadium. And the Patriots with Drake May have a bad habit of getting up and holding onto a lead and not wanting to risk injury. They are not a risky team. They don't take the stuff. They don't need it. Drake will quit running if he's up. Because we saw in the last game, I had him rushing for 20 yards, and the son of a gun only got 10. So I really think it's going to be a conservative game. That under looks more and more tempting. And yeah, New England's got it. They're going to be tough to beat in the Super Bowl. So that's my thing. I made my piece.
The only thing, maybe if there's like a side bet here that if you're a guy who rushes those side bets, I'm not saying this is one of my picks that I'm going to put money on, but I see this happening, and it's been enough that the Patriots coaching staff has had to address it in press conferences. Drake May has had a lot of fumbles by not paying attention in the pocket where the defender's hand is, and when right before he goes to throw, they're swiping it out of his hand.
So you're calling for a Broncos defense
fumble
score?
recovery, fumble recovery, possibly a score, because those are where you're behind the line of scrimmage. The only person to tackle you back there once that happens is the quarterback, pretty much. So maybe a score like you're saying. I think a fumble recovery by the Broncos is very good, especially with how much Nick Bonito is a problem for opposing offenses.
Yeah.
He is a sack artist, and I think he could be a problem. Singleton also back there has 135 tackles as a linebacker. But I think that could be a play as well. I'm like we said already, we're going to reiterate here, Patriots money line under 42.5 is the locks. Anytime touchdown score, if I absolutely had to pick one gun to my head, I'm thinking Hunter Henry, the tight end for the Patriots.
If I had to do anytime touchdown score, I would go with maybe actually Stephon Diggs.
Yep, that's crazy on the year. He's only got 4 touchdowns on the year.
He does not. He's not been performing
But he did score
well.
last week, had a good touchdown.
He keeps having more and more kids.
And Cardi B was talking shit on to the NFL, like ESPN people, because they all picked against him. All picked against the Patriots, not him specifically.
Yeah.
And then the ESPN people were like, "Oh my God, we're so cool." Cardi B talked shit about us. That was weird. That actually happened on air, where they're like, "We're big enough that Cardi B would talk about us."
Did you see out of all the analysts, Pat McAfee was the only one that took Indiana?
That I don't understand that.
Well, to be fair, I think it was Saban and someone else had voted against Indiana their last 4 games.
That was brought up today too on many of the ESPN shows. Signetti is also a person who trained under Saban just as much as Mario Cristobal is.
Yeah.
But he's showing an apparent favoritism toward Mario throughout this whole playoff. It's almost like he doesn't like Signetti, even though he has not said that out loud. But a lot of people said when Signetti was with Alabama, it was the first championships, that he was in a position where he was like their head recruiter and I think a wide receivers coach.
Mm-hmm.
And through 2 seasons, Nick Saban needed offensive coordinators and promoted from outside, brought somebody in instead of promoting Curt Signetti, and that's why he kind of left and was like, I guess I'm going to go elsewhere to move up the coaching ranks a little bit. So they're like, maybe Nick Saban never really liked the guy. He is a cocky person. I like that about him.
I think at this point it may be jealousy because Signetti is now in the top of the greatest of all time conversations. Only 3 teams have gone 16-0. Indiana, one of them.
2 of them. It was basketball was the other one.
No, I mean just in
in
general. In college football, going 16-0 and then winning the national.
Yeah.
But only 11 schools have won both.
Yeah.
College and for football and
The
basketball.
last team to do it in any sport was Indiana, Bobby Knight.
1990 something.
Yep. And they say that Kurt Signetti's kind of the Bobby Knight of football, where he's kind of a loudmouth.
Oh God.
Not many people like him, and he will fight somebody on the field.
Signetti, don't let your wife near the team.
Don't do it. He's gonna have to throw a chair at somebody. Good thing God they don't have chairs on the sidelines, just benches, whole ass benches. All right, but we're gonna move on to the NFC Championship game. A little bit better of a game, but it is a divisional game that we've already seen twice this year.
Yeah.
We have the Los Angeles Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of people didn't expect Seattle to be here with only rebuilding just 2 years ago. Having to move on from the past a little bit. Got rid of Russell, got rid of the old coaching staff. They're no longer the Legion of Boom.
You see Russell Wilson is leaving the country and getting citizenship in a different country?
I would too if I was Russell Wilson.
This is weird. But yeah, Sammy D taking over the team and leading them to arguably their next Super Bowl. We got the Seahawks originally opening up as the slight favorite at 1.5. That line has now jumped up to 2.5. Over under 46.5. Money line, the slight favorite to the Seahawks. Right now, ESPN Match Predictor is predicting a slight favorite, 53% of 53.8 of Americans, or I guess the world, it doesn't really matter, probably Americans, are saying Seattle's got this one. Jay, what are you thinking?
I think the Rams have more weapons. I mean, Seattle has weapons. They did just lose their backup running back, who is actually their red zone running back every time, Zach Charbonnet. He is out.
Ooh.
He's also the reason that they beat the Rams in the last game, because he picked up that extra point off the ground that eventually would count minutes later. I think I'd kind of said this a couple weeks before the playoffs started, that there's this script I believe is out there where Matt Stafford wins the Super Bowl the same year that his best friend Clayton Kershaw won the pennant with the Dodgers.
Oh.
And that where he's older, maybe he walks off into the sunset with his best friend winning both championships for the same city in the same year, retire the same year. Kind of gay. Kind of gay if you ask me. But I think the big thing here is if Seattle's defense is able to be the Seattle defense they've been all year. Mike McDonald is a hell of a defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams, obviously, I think are going to rely on outscoring them. But we did watch a Rams-Seahawks game where Sam Darnold threw 5 picks, and it looked like he was throwing to the Rams on purpose.
Yeah, that's Sam Darnold's biggest weakness right now. His season, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I'd have to look it up. That's one of the highest in the league right now versus Stafford. 46 touchdowns, almost twice as many touchdowns with 8 interceptions, nearly half of it. I mean, if you just put it stat to stat, fuck Sam Darnold. It does not look good next to Stafford.
Puka Nacua has been on a hell of a tear this season.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, Njigba. But Devontae Adams was out a couple games. He was back last game.
Mm-hmm.
This is his second game back, more to his regular speed. I think maybe we see more out of Devontae Adams, maybe an anytime touchdown scorer. He's a big favorite in the red zone for Matt Stafford. He loves going to him.
I could see that. I mean, you get consistency out of Devontae. That was a guy that, hell, Devontae did something we never thought anyone could do. He made Aaron Rodgers look like a competent quarterback.
Yeah, that's true for many a year.
Yeah, I think no one in the Steelers can do that.
No one on the Steelers could. DK almost did, but then he punched a fan.
That fan had it coming. That fan told him the $4 biggie bag just isn't as good of a deal as it used to be.
And called him by his slave name, which I forgot what it was, but it's like his DK in it. It's like Decardius or some shit like that. I don't know.
The worst thing I could think about calling him, Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Calling him a gorilla. Oh, he would have dragged him out of the stands and beat him to death.
Some people like being called a gorilla. The Morgans.
That is true.
Our
official parlay or die fighters now undefeated on our
as parlay or die
on our roster. I don't know how you would say that.
As on our promotional roster.
Promotional roster, absolutely. But yeah, back to this game. With the spread as what it is, I'm seeing the Rams win this. I'm going to take the Rams money line, take the upset, and I may take a Puka touchdown because I know that's probably going to be a plus 200 or minus 1 something.
Yeah, pretty much like the minus 148 range.
Yep, I'm calling Rams upset. Jay, what are you thinking?
I'm calling. We're going shocky here because we've a bunch of locks here.
Now keep in mind, the Rams have already done the impossible. They beat the toughest team in the playoffs already. They've already set the bar high. They beat the Panthers in Carolina. Some would say impossible, but they cheated. Refs gave it away, whatever you want to say. But they did beat the Panthers.
I think clock is going to strike midnight on Sam Darnold here, which sucks because immediately after this they're going to say Is he a franchise quarterback? I think if a quarterback is taking you to the NFC Championship, he doesn't deserve the talks that they're going to give Sam Darnold immediately after this game. Of like that the Seahawks should move on and blah, blah, blah. People don't know how long it takes to get success sometimes. Some people get spoiled by the success, and they think that it's just owed to them, that anyone in that could come in their franchise and do it. It's not such. The Cleveland Browns have been terrible for years.
Exactly.
Ask one of their fans if they had a good quarterback like Baker Mayfield, would they trade him again?
Honestly,
or look at him go?
Look at the Texans. If the Texans had Sam Darnold, that game, completely different.
Completely different game. But I think their luck does run out. They had a great game against the 49ers. A lot of stuff went their way on special teams and defense to do that. It forced the 49ers to play from behind, which they're not good at doing, which also led to more woes on offense for them, and the Seattle defense to flourish a little bit more. The last Rams-Seahawks game was a very close game. Came down to a most bullshit call I've ever seen on an extra point.
Yeah.
Where it was technically a swatted pass that when they reviewed back, they realized it was a fumble because it landed behind Darnold. It fumbled forward so that the Seahawks could cover it to get the extra point.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of bullshit in there
I'll say
for that to happen.
Both games were within one score. One was 2 points, the other one was 1 point. I mean, that alone should tell you plenty.
If you're not a risky person, take Rams plus 3.5 because you'll probably get it for not that bad of a price. I do not think the Seahawks blow out the Rams by any stretch of the imagination here.
No.
Personally, I'm going Rams money line, and I'm staying away from the over/under because the past games would tell you under, but it would be close to where they're setting this over/under.
Yeah.
Just right where it would lie.
Plus, Sam Darnold's got a small injury with his oblique. They saying he'll be fine, he'll play, but you just never know. One good hit, he's out of there.
He was toradoled up in the last match game, and he still, if you look, I think in the first quarter, underthrew one of his receivers by like 20 yards.
Yeah.
So he's not going to feel the pain, but it does limit the power and the precision he could have out there. Plus, if he's under duress by like a great pass rusher like Jared Verse, don't know how many hits he's going to take during this game and still be able to be an effective Sam Darnold.
Gosh, especially towards the end, if they are down a score and they have to start lobbing it up, you're going to get another Miami of Florida where it's going to be an interception and just end it for them.
But it looks like we are both going Rams money line here for upset. And guys, it looks like the podcast is calling for a Patriots-Rams Super Bowl.
Ooh, that's going to be exciting.
Are we right? Are we wrong? We won't know until Sunday plays out. Guys, get your bets in. Follow us if you want to win money. Tail us if you want to lose money. Tommy, if they listen to us, they're just one leg away from
legendary.
We're moving on to our NHL picks. All right, guys, we are finally to our NHL picks. We've got some ice-cold picks for you here.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded.
We are going to start with Saturday, today, January 24th.
Yeah.
Tommy, do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first. Why not?
Tommy's going first. Let us know your picks for Saturday.
We're going to start off with, I'm going to leave you the Canes, of course. I'm going to start off.
Thank you.
I know, I always take the Canes. We're going to take the Edmonton Oilers over the Capitals at home. We're going to parlay that with the Blues beating the Kings at home as well. And we're going to finish it up with the Mammoths upsetting the Predators in Nashville.
Those are some solid picks there. Some solid picks.
That's it.
Let's see what I'm going to go with. Start off with what you allowed me to take here. I'm going with the Carolina Hurricanes over the Ottawa Senators. I think that might be a Native American tribe. Ottawa.
I just don't know how the Native Americans would elect a senator.
Or in Canada at all. Why is their logo a white man? Isn't that a racism? When a white team had a Native American one, they said that was a racism.
Yeah, but they don't call them the Edmonton Crackers or the Ottawa Crackers.
I don't know. I might be a fan of them if someone just like, we're the Crackers.
I would love to have a Cracker team.
Oh, man, that'd be cool. Just a white guy wearing like a polo, waving. Drives a minivan because, it's affordable and it has space. But I'm going with the Carolina Hurricanes over the Ottawa Senators. Nice. I'm going with... Let's go to Bruins over the Canadians. The Bruins are at home in that matchup. Boston's all hyped up right now with the New England Patriots doing so well.
They are.
I think maybe the Bruins think, let's get our name on this map here. Let's get our name out there. Mm-hmm. So I think the Bruins are going to take that one. I'm going with the Red Wings over the Winnipeg Jets. And lastly, I'm going with the Minnesota Wild to beat the Florida Panthers. No one likes the Panthers. No one likes them at all. This is a pick for the people. We're going with the Minnesota Wild over the Florida Panthers.
I love it. Love everything about it.
All right, we're going to move on to Sunday. Since, Tommy, you went first on that one, I will go first on this one. All right, do you have all the games up? All right, that's all of it. I have all of them up on my side.
I'll say the only one you're going to miss is Avalanche Maple Leafs at the top.
All right.
I'm trying to split them.
All right, for Sunday, January 25th, I'm going to go with, it's not going to be a great weekend for the Ottawa Senators, the Ottawas. I'm going with the Golden Knights over the Ottawa Senators. I'm going with the
Nice.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh. Almost
a West Virginia team. There are a lot of fans here because of how close it is in proximity. Right. Also, their minor league team is out of Wheeling, the Wheeling Nailers.
Fun.
So there's a lot of West Virginia support here. I'm going to give it for the West Virginia people. We're going the Pittsburgh Penguins. And for an upset here, and just to say, fuck them again, I'm going with the Chicago Blackhawks and Connor Bedard. Nice. I said Bedard, not retard. I'm not doing an oopsie there. Connor Bedard over the Florida Panthers, who are a bunch of retards. But that is my picks there. We're going Golden Knights, Penguins, and Panthers.
All right, I will do the other side of this. Tensions are tough right now, so I'm going to go with the Avalanche to beat the Maple Leafs at home. Canada's fighting with us. We need a little victory on our hands.
My uncle's neighbor, his son is a trainer for the Avalanche.
Oh.
Yeah, out of South Carolina. Weird. How'd he get all the way out there in Colorado?
No kidding. We're going to take the Kraken over the Devils. The New Jersey Devils, of course, in the same division as the Canes, so they're trash. Not even any competition. And lastly, we're going to take the Mighty Ducks over the Calgary Flames. No, I'm going to take the Calgary Flames. Calgary over the Mighty Ducks. You got to give one Canada team something. They're not going to take a complete sweep.
Fun fact about the Calgary Flames, it's named after a flame that happened in Atlanta.
No.
They were moved to Calgary and didn't change their name.
Fun. Okay, that's cool.
But if you watch Super Troopers 2, there was that horrible Calgary explosion.
Oh, yeah.
A huge loss of life, as Rob Lowe said in that movie.
I'm going to watch that again.
It's great. They're making the third one now, which, I don't know. The second one was good, but never holds a candle to the first one.
No.
So does the third one not hold a candle to the second one? Because that one was already not as good as the first one. Maybe you stop. I don't know.
We'll have to see. But right meow, we're going to move on to our next pick of the NBA.
We're going to go pick some basketball.
Right meow.
Regular basketball Joneses.
Yeah.
Basketball Jones. Someone edit a basketball in here. I can't do it with a real one. I can't do it. Edit the basketball in here.
Put the basketball over behind my thing. That's all we've got for the NHL. Let's take it to the court next.
All right, guys. We are moving on to basketball of the national variety, the professionals here. We are going to do some picks. We're going to get you some parlays for Saturday and one for Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and start since Tommy started with the last one. Some hardwood picks. Here we go. I'm going with my team to start it off. Celtics, money line over the Bulls at Chicago Bulls are at home. I just think that we got this one. Just going with my confidence in my own squad here. Bulls are sitting slightly under 500. They're doing better than they have in years past, but that's kind of rough to say about a season that you're already slightly below 500 on.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go with the New York Knicks over the 76ers. I think that'll be an easy game. I don't think the Sixers have been, in my mind, very competitive this year. They are above 500. Records are kind of similar to the Knicks, but I think the Knicks are the better team. They're a more rounded team. They have more better players than the 76ers do, in my opinion. So I'm going with the Knicks here over the 76ers. And for the last game, Warriors haven't been who they have been in the past.
Nope.
Timberwolves have had flashes this year of being great. Anthony Edwards has turning out a great season. I'm going with the Timberwolves at home on ABC over the Golden State Warriors.
That makes sense. Grandpappy Canterbury used to say, Golden State don't play no defense.
My grandpappy said something totally different about the San Francisco area, but I'm not allowed to say that on recording. I can't say it, but you can kind of catch where I'm coming from.
Absolutely. We're not going to talk about those. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next picks, mine. We're going to start with my team. We're going to take the Charlotte Hornets over the top of the Wizards. The Wizards are actual ass this year and would be better off just closing the franchise and turning it into a Burger King. We're going to pair that with the Lakers taking on the Mavericks. Ooh, this is always a heated new rivalry that just started. And the Lakers, of course, are going to come in and show the Mavericks just how bad they are at trading. Anthony Davis is still out. His long eyebrow, I think, is still recovering. So, Lakers, Hornets, and let's take the Heat over top of the Jazz. Freeform Jazz is some of the worst Jazz I've ever heard, and Jazz is already pretty shitty to begin with. So,
it's so weird that the Utah is called the Jazz when Jazz is from, like, the New Orleans area.
And they don't let black people inside of Salt Lake City, so It's weird.
So, yeah, those are some good picks, Tommy. I don't think either that Cooper Flag is enough for the Mavericks to win against a team like the Lakers who have just, they have Luka, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton down low. Austin Reeves is a whitey that got hops. Who would have guessed that most of the good players on the Lakers are whites?
I would have guessed that, but they also let me give those guesses anymore because I guess those almost frequently. Too frequently.
Yeah, it's a little sus.
But we're going to move on to Sunday.
We're going to move on to Sunday. Tommy, why don't you go ahead and get us started on
Absolutely. Jay went first last time. I'm going to take it from here. We're going to start off with the Detroit Pistons beating the LA Kings in Detroit. Sacramento. Gosh darn it. I got my Kings mixed up. But yeah, California Kings can't have shit in Detroit, including a win on the road. So I'm going to give this to the Pistons. The Nuggets, of course, I'm going to take over the Grizzlies. Denver is looking good. All the skill that their football team was stealing from God, they lost it, so now that's just kind of sitting there in the state. And then let's end it with a controversial one. I'm going to take the Spurs over top of the Pelicans. Spurs aren't very good, but they are at home.
Spurs are good. 13-14.
I know. I just don't like them.
I'll just lead with that. I'll be like, I don't like them, so I'm picking against them.
So, yeah, I'm taking the Spurs over the Pelicans.
I don't like them, so I'm picking with them. Is actually what he meant. I am going, let's go here. I'm going to go with an easy one to start it off. I'm going Thunder over the Raptors.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and pair that with SGA going over 30 points. I'm going to go with the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama is going to go for at least 25 and 10 rebounds, maybe throw 12 in there. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to do Spurs, Wembanyama also with 25 points and 10 rebounds.
Nice.
And pair that with SGA going over 30 and the Thunder to win. That'll be that's 5 picks for you. That's five legger.
That's a hell of a parlay.
That's a hell of a parlay, and I guarantee you it's probably going to win. Guarantee probably.
I'd be shocked if it didn't.
All right, guys, that is all for our hardwood picks. We got to watch saying hardwood picks. People start talking about our penises.
That's true. We are not rock hard under here. We are verified soft. We do not do anything with erections anymore.
And I will say this. I don't think I've ever been hard while picking basketball. Maybe football.
Yeah.
But not basketball.
I had a small chubby once from a cricket match that I was betting on, like 2 o'clock in the morning. But I also just got done watching one of those Susan Sarandon workout videos, so I don't know if that was a carryover.
I think it was a carryover. I did once have a light chub while watching Korean baseball, but I also think that might have just been morning wood. Have to burn the morning wood, fire off some knuckle children. But we're going to go ahead and move on to UFC fights. We have some friends joining us.
Ooh, not just any friends, Jay. Aren't these professional fighters?
It's the type of friends we have that you don't want to talk shit about us in the comments section because they will kill you. But we're going to move on to that next. We will be going into UFC 324.
Fun. Yeah.
Great fights.
All right, boys and girls, listen up. Parlay or Die Productions is officially on Whatnot. Yeah, we leveled up.
If you're buying sports cards, memorabilia, jerseys, collectibles, or you're just trying to hunt down that one thing you didn't know you needed until 2 a.m., do us a solid and use our Whatnot QR code when you sign up, or if you're already a member, just to make a purchase.
It costs you absolutely fucking nothing, zero, but it helps the pod in a massive way. More support equals more content, more giveaways, more chaos, and of course, more chances for us to be one leg away from legendary.
So next time you jump on Whatnot, use our QR code and help keep Parlay or Die cooking.
Download Whatnot, scan the code, support the boys. Pretty fucking simple. Place better parlays, you'll be making better money in no time.
It's the steps to success.
So easy.
All right, guys, we are getting with our UFC 324 picks. This is the first card on Paramount Plus. Since it's such a big card, I brought in 2 of the hottest prospects in West Virginia MMA. We have Chance Morgan and Chase Morgan. They fight for the New Line Cage Fighting promotion that fights mostly here in West Virginia and Kentucky. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce these guys. Fellas, it's good to have you on today and talk some MMA.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us. Always a pleasure. So I'm Chance, and then Chase is beside me here. We're fired up, ready to call some good picks here. Absolutely, we love this.
Heck yeah, guys. Well, we're going to start with a firefight. Arnold Allen, who's been around for a couple years, and John Silva, who's kind of fresher on the scene out of the Fighting Nerds camp. Both John's made a splash with some good victories in his last 5. Let's see. He did lose his last fight to Diego Lopez, but has wins against Bryce Mitchell, Bagdasarian, Drew Dober, and Air Jourdain. And Arnold Allen, his only 2 losses in his last 5 are to Evalaev and Holloway, which are 2 marquee guys in the UFC in his weight class. It's going to be a brawl. What are your guys' thoughts on John Silva going into this fight?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think Silva's a tough cat. He's scrappy. His last outing was not as, superior to when he fought Bryce Mitchell. I think the spinning elbow was kind of devastating. He took a lot of damage in that fight. So I think Silva's looking for some redemption. You know, I could see Allen, definitely standing in front of him though. He's got the length advantage. He's got some distance. So I could see him, kind of chopping Gene down with the leg kicks and then, opening him up with some jabs. So, I mean, it'll definitely be a striking match. But I do see, Silva kind of toughen through those first flurries, those, tough punches. Because Alan Sharp, he's skinny and he can hit you with some hard stuff. So I think, Silva with his last fight, taking that spinning elbow, I think he learned some good, valuable lessons. I think we see Silva. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think I'm seeing a round 2 submission, Silva. I see him actually getting him to the cage, taking him down, delivering some good ground and pound. But I think we can see Silva with another finish. He wants that redemption. I could see him doing the same thing he did to Bryce Mitchell. So we're going to hear the dog barking at the end of the night.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I see the same thing with Silva. Good point there with the last fight when he was fighting Lopez. He was coming hard with some good shots. He was landed before Lopez connected with that spinning elbow. So I think Silva he'll be doing the same kind of concept. He'll be hunting down Arthur. We'll see how it goes, but I do think that Silva's got legitimately a dog in him.
Absolutely. I think the disparity here is kind of where Chase was leaning. That it's probably in the grappling is where, if there had to be a space that he is over excelling past Allen. In the last fight, I feel like with Lopez, it was 2 hunters going after each other. Diego's a person to kind of be the aggressor. So is John. And I think John got caught while he was hunting and just got struck first. I think he needs to be on the lookout for that as far as like getting a counter from Allen, because I feel like John is going to be the aggressor here again. And I think it could lead to what Chase was saying, was with that forward pressure being the aggressor, it's going to get him against the cage. And I think that might be where his takedown opportunities are. And then when he gets him to the ground, I feel like he's far better the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. And I think that, like you said, that's where the difference is in this fight. I think also if he is wanting the knockout, because that's kind of where Jean likes the finishes and things like that. I think he's going to try to get him into a firefight early, see if he can't kind of tax him a little bit. I know Holloway had a little bit of luck with that, with Allen kind of being the quicker guy, forcing him into a stand-up battle and kind of coming out on top with that. But that did go, I think, 4 or 5 rounds. This, yeah. I think, I don't think it makes it to the 3rd round if John Silva is going to be the victor.
Right, and I think Silva he faced some issues there with Lopez. His Lopez's jiu-jitsu is just as good, if not a little bit better, and I think that's where he one-upped him. He grappled him, and then he brought it back up to the feet. And Lopez was obviously a little bit better on the feet and got the finish. So I don't see Allen giving him that type of confusion or like that flurry where it would be like a grappling situation where Allen could bring it back up to the feet. I think if he gets taken down, he's going to get discouraged, and that's probably where it'll stay. Round 1, I could see it going through that, and then it would be probably an onslaught there from Silva. I might be wrong. Allen might be able to go ahead and hit him with some quick stuff because he's definitely got the length advantage. So.
I will say that Allen has fought like a good caliber of, like his resume speaks for itself, where Silva hasn't faced that yet. But he's the up and newcomer, like we mentioned, and he's only gonna eventually face those guys.
I don't know if you guys saw the picture today going around, but you had Silva like looking at the UFC belt with his wife. He's like crying. So he's got the people favorite too.
Yeah, for sure.
And the dog bark stuff, everyone loves that. So I mean, he's got a little bit of craziness in him, and he wants that belt. So I mean, he's a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the last fight, or the fight before last, when he was going against Mitchell's, where he really kind of earned the fan favor, was after Bryce had said the comments that he said on his podcast.
Yeah.
And then, John is the first person to call him out and actually get the signed fight. And I think the way he finished Mitchell also with just utter dominance on the feet, on the ground, even where that's Bryce's wheelhouse right there. And he was able to go into his house and just dominate him.
Yeah,
and finish him too.
It made Bryce go down a weight class, and I think Bryce is finding his sweet spot there in the bantamweight division. So, I mean, I was rooting for Bryce that fight, I'll be honest. Just based off personality wise, I'm a Mitchell fan, and I don't really condone the Lord on the chest. I don't know, exactly what that means. I'm sure it's something different, but people take it a certain way. So, I mean, he definitely believes in himself. So you got to have confidence when you're fighting, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have that belief in yourself. You got to have that belief in your coaches as well, which I think he does. And he has some great coaches there at Fighting Nerds. I believe he even branched out with this one where they had kind of hit that skid of fights where I think 3 Fighting Nerds lost in a row and they hadn't experienced loss yet. So I think he branched out a little bit, got a little bit of extra help, which is, always good to diversify your portfolio a little bit. So picks wise, let's go ahead and get our picks out there on this one.
Yeah, I got Silva round 2 submission, and I'm going to give you the specific submission. I think we're going to see a rear naked choke.
I see Silva with a round 2 TKO on the cage wall.
I'm going to go with round 2. I think it's going to be a knockout because he's going to threaten the grappling early. Arnold's going to know it's a threat probably in the first round. And then that's when he's going to shoot a lot of level changes, get Arnold's hands to drop a little bit to be in position to shoot. And or not shoot, but sprawl. And I think that's where his opportunity is he's going to land a hook, I think, to drop him. And then it's probably going to be, I'd say, in the TKO manner of not being like a clean knockout, but it's going to be TKO by punches.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
All right. We wrap that one up. We're going to go to the next one. We have a fight in the female, I think, bantamweight. Flyweight, women's flyweight. Alexa Grasso had to step out. Natalia Silva is stepping in. She is number 2 in the flyweight division, versing a fighter who's been in the UFC for, I don't think 100% is 10 years, but it's pretty damn close. Yeah. Rose Namajunas. Rose is coming in at 15-7. Natalia is 19-5-1. Natalia is probably a little bit closer of a finisher than Rose is. Rose is a great points fighter. She did have that knockout against, slipping my mind on who it was. It's a title fight. Who was that title fight? I think she's the current champion.
It slipped my mind too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chinese.
Oh.
Zhang Weili.
Yeah. There you go.
She had that knockout early against Zhang. I think it was with a front kick right down the middle, hit the chin. No one was expecting that. What was it?
Is that for the belt?
I believe it was. I believe that was the first time that Zhang had lost the belt. And then Rose lost it to Weili on the rematch, maybe. I think it was points the second time. But Rose is a brawler. I believe her coach is Pat Barry. If I had to go off of memory. Natalia, though, like I said, she lands a lot. She's probably closer to a finisher than Rose is, and she's coming off some pretty impressive in her last 5 with a win over Grasso and Jessica Andrade, which I believe was a finish, and Araujo before that. What are your thoughts on Rose going into this fight? I believe she just came off of a win against Miranda Maverick, but there was a loss to Blanchfield where she looked very human in a way. Blanchfield kind of got to do what she wanted to do for 5 rounds.
Yeah, I think I think being anyone that's a former champ obviously deserves some respect. So I think Rose has the experience. And I don't know, I could see, like you just said, Jay, she's hot and cold. So it really depends on what kind of mood she's in. That, if you're a fighter, it depends, a lot of factors go into that as well. So, she might have a good weight cut, she might have a bad one. You tend to see there with the female fighters too, like a little bit more emotion.
Yeah.
So, you never know with Thug Rose. I think she's a great fighter though. It could go either way. You've got a kind of a hungry, younger fighter there in the circumstance who wants to perform
and prove herself.
She just beat Grasso. Grasso pulls out. So it's like you're kind of putting Rose in like a bad, you were trying to get Rose there to get a win, but now it's kind of like, they're like, hey, guess what? You got to take this girl instead. Sorry, and what do you do? What would your thoughts be, if you were fighting someone that you thought maybe would be a little bit more even, and then they were like, guess what? You got this young hot prospect, are you going to be excited for that? And especially if you've had 10 years, in the organization, are you going to be excited for that? Or are you going to be a little bit worried? So I don't know. I don't know with Rose. We'll see though. We'll see for sure.
With it
Yeah,
being a last minute, oh my bad. You can go ahead
you're
and
good.
go.
Yeah, I think she's great. I think she's definitely a good advocate for the women's division. I know that like a lot of men's fighters, they know the women's division because of her. So she's because of, that tenure of 10 years. That's hard to do, especially in the UFC. And like Chase said, she's a former champion. So I think they just want to see if, she can rise again in that type of occasion. And I think she's capable of that. Like Chase said, there are a lot of factors that go into your fight camp, and I know I think she's I don't know if she's married or dating her coach, and you never know with that.
Married.
That could always shake it up, like they could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I think that could be a factor sometimes. You could be in a fight with your spouse in a locker room, and then you
You
make
got
that
to take
walk,
that.
and
Yeah, you got to take that home with you.
yeah, for
So
sure. So there's a lot of factors that play into it. I think um, Doug Rose is a vet though, and I think she rises to that expectation that the UFC wants out of her.
I think in a way it was it's not a trap, but it's a catch-22 on her accepting this fight because, yeah, it is a last-minute person. And it's somebody who is a threat because she's sitting at the number 2. So in that way, it's a fight you don't want to take last minute. But there is the gambling side of it is if you bet on yourself,
right.
a win puts you immediately back in the title picture, which right now I think Rose may be like 7th. So she's outside of it. But with this win, last minute step up, plus you always win the favor of Dana by being a person who accepts the fight versus passes on it, which
Right.
I believe that has a lot to play into it. Is are you helping Dana or not on fight night? Not always the fairest thing in the world because you get presented who you get presented. Usually there's maybe 1 to 2 options, and stylistically it may not be the same. I believe in this case it's not really the same. I think Grasso's bread and butter is wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I think Natalia's a little bit better with her hands. Rose is a good striker. She's a defensive striker somewhat too. She doesn't take a lot of stupid shots. But props to Rose for stepping up on this one. If we go ahead and go into the picks, how are you guys feeling on the pick for the fight?
Well, I think I was the first one, last one, so it should be
Yeah.
right to either give it to Jay or Chance.
Yeah, let's hear what Jay.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I'm going with Natalia Silva. I think the youth here is going to be a part of it. I think a lot of it is correct, like you guys said, is how is Rose feeling on that day? The factors of her coach and everything that it all plays into it, like y'all said. I think that the main decider on Silva's side, if I had to say anything, is that she does not underestimate Rose. Right. Usually, if you're the person stepping in on the late notice, you're not the one underestimating anybody because you know that the other person did have a full camp.
True.
So I'm leaning toward Natalia Silva, and I'm going to go finish because I think Rose does have a chin. So I'm going to go with it's going to go the distance, and Natalia Silva is just going to have, I think, a little bit speedier output and point her up a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I can follow up with that. I definitely agree. I think I've seen Natalia as well. I don't necessarily know if it'll be a finish. I think she sees Rose as a threat. She's high level for sure, maybe even a little bit higher level than Grasso. If it was Grasso, I probably would have considered Rose a little bit more. But you got a young, hungry fighter, and I've been wrong before. I've been wrong before with the young, hungry fighters. Like we saw Benoit Saint Denis versus Dustin Poirier. I mean, absolutely shut him down, lights out. So it was just like, because Benoit's walking in as a young guy with a low ranking, and what did Poirier do to him? So
And my guy Hanato Moicano got him next too, and he's not a young guy either. I think he's 35, 36.
Right. So yeah, I'm gonna follow up there though. I mean, I could be wrong, but I see Natalia. I see unanimous decision. I see her taking it by points. All around. So
Yeah, and then with Chase's point, so I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna go with Thug Rose. I'm gonna say
good
she
job.
has that dog in her, and she rises to the occasion, and she shuts down Silva with her rise. She's gonna use that fight IQ. Her and her coach they're gonna be on point.
That's a good
That
man.
relationship, and I know she's had a full camp, so having that full camp is gonna be, it's gonna be a major key. But she's gonna be in those rounds, and that crowd noise and that pressure is gonna be waning on Silva, and Thug Rose will do her thing, and she'll have that vet dog in her, and she'll get it done with a split in 3, I would say. So
Split. Nice.
So there's something I will say that could be a positive out of Rose and her coach being, husband and wife, is that a lot of coaches don't give honesty in their corner. Sometimes
Yeah.
they tell their fighter they took a round and they might not have. I
Yeah.
believe that Pat Barry does give her honest feedback on like, hey, we didn't take this one, you need to finish, things like that. So that is something that a lot of fighters do not get because they have yes men coaches that are just like, yeah, you won that, you're doing great. Necessarily they didn't, and they, to know that information shouldn't hurt their pride or their pride or confidence going into it. Honestly, it should give them the right frame of mind, but some coaches don't see it that way and see that
Sure.
maybe they're hurting their fighters' confidence going into the next round. But that knowledge, I think with her fight IQ, like y'all said, that is very valuable information to have.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're down 2 rounds going in the third, you won't sit on it.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to go into the next fight here. Me and Chase have Natalia Silva by decision, and Chance is going Rose. All right, let's see. For the third fight, we have a heavyweight matchup between Waldo Cortez Acosta and Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis kind of got the UFC in a little bit of hot water this week by saying the UFC gave him some peptides that has caused him to be in the best shape of his life. They had to correct him and say it was a sponsor of the UFC that set up a deal with him. He is pretty much not a title shot, obviously, because of his ranking, but he is in promise that if he succeeds here, he is looking at the White House card as for sure being on the main card. He is a favorite fighter of the president, and I think a win here does a lot for him and getting him on that card, which is going to be a big payday, I think, for everyone involved, the once-in-a-lifetime deal like the Sphere was. So going into this one, what are y'all seeing on Waldo, who's coming in at 16-2? He's boasting an impressive record.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar actually with Waldo. What are they saying there in terms of his fighting style?
He's a finisher. Derek Lewis does have the shorter average fight time. He is 6 years younger than Derek. Usually it's by knockout. He had knockouts over Gaziev and Dilia, and his one loss in his last 5 was against Pavlovich, who has already contended for the title, I think, twice already. He has wins also against Spivak, and there's another one. Ryan Spann. One thing I'm leaning to mostly with any heavyweight fight is that it's probably not going to go the distance.
Yeah, it won't go.
Derek has also lost a lot of weight, which it hasn't affected him terribly yet, but when heavyweights do that, they tend to lose a little bit of that chin that they're used to having. I think he needs to not underestimate Waldo because Waldo, I believe, slept his last opponent in like the second round, and Gaziev is a good striker. He's not like with him being a Russian stuff that he falls on his wrestling. Gaziev is a striker, and I believe Waldo might have slept him in the first round. So I think that's something that Derek needs to not rush into, especially where his training usually would not. He never expected to be in third rounds, and when he has been in third rounds, he's kind of died out a little bit. So his old game plan was always to kind of come firing first and see if he can end it early. I think if he does that here, he might be on the opposite end of what he's looking for.
Right, right. So I mean, obviously Derek Lewis is a fan favorite. He's funny. He brings a lot of energy, especially taking the fight shorts off after the wins. And a couple flying knees right out of the gate from him too, and he's hit him too. So I think stylistically, what it sounds to me like is he's got a dog in front of him in Waldo. So
Yeah.
they're not giving him anything easy by any means. Obviously the president would love to see him on the White House, that special UFC White House canvas. But Dana told him, I guarantee it, this has got to be earned, and you need some peptides to earn it.
Absolutely.
But no, I think you're right too, Jay, in terms of losing the weight as a heavyweight. In my reality, if a heavyweight loses that much weight, which he looks good, you want to look good when you're fighting, but like, are you losing it to look good, or are you losing it to go down a weight class? Because if he got down to 205, he might actually do something there. But if you're losing weight just to look good as a heavyweight, you need all the extra calories and the power you can get.
Yeah.
You got to think of this in terms of football as well. Like these are linemen, and they need that power to explode. So heavyweights, they fuel their bodies, and I don't know if Derek Lewis is using the peptides as an excuse. He does look good, but you can't just look good. You have to be able to take a punch because they're powerful. Those heavyweights, they hit hard. So Derek Lewis is he's gonna have a big test this weekend. We'll definitely see. I'm not really familiar with Waldo, but a 16-2 record and him fighting Pavlovich already. What was the result there on Pavlovich, if you don't mind?
Let me see. It looks like Pavlovich, I believe, was a finish. Yeah, it was a TKO stoppage.
Okay. What round was that? Does it say?
Looks like second.
Second round. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. What do you think, Chance?
I think Waldo just has to have a game plan, like you said, Jay. If he's if he can take Derek to deep waters in that third round, we might see him slip away with the victory. But it's hard to get past Derek Lewis when he's coming at you. And he's got a lot of power. I don't care how much weight the dude's lost. He's got that like natural just chin, one punch, put you to sleep kind of power. So, um, the UFC, they know how to like hype up a fighter and build them. So if if they see fit and Derek Lewis can get to that challenge and do what he does best and headhunt and get that knockout, I think we'll definitely see him on the White House card doing his thing again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the opportunity here for Waldo is to counter. Derek's biggest strikes are a lot of looping strikes, especially he throws the haymaker where he throws a lot of his body weight into it. If Waldo is trained for that in his camp, able to keep it tight, see it coming, he's open to a lot of like inside check hooks, things like that, quicker strikes. I think if Waldo wins, I think that's where it comes in at is he catches inside of one of Derek's looping strikes, gets a drop and then like a TKO finish type of thing from that. I don't see Derek Lewis actually going to sleep. If it is to go the other way, I think it's more of like a TKO type of deal. But I mean,
Yeah.
both of them are great fighters. Derek is a very exciting fighter, and he's won fights before that a lot of people said he wasn't probably going to win. Usually the fights he loses are the ones that someone takes him to the third round or things like that, where he's just kind of out of his element.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's opportunity for both here. Let's go ahead and get to the picks part of it. We'll have Chance go first this time.
Yeah, I'll go. So, I'm just gonna say that Derek Lewis does his thing. He goes and he rises to the occasion. He's got that power. First card on Paramount Plus. He's gonna have that dog in him, and I just see him headhunting. I see Waldo kind of buckling underneath of him, and I see Derek Lewis either getting a clean knockout or getting the TKO finish within the first round. That's what I see.
I think I can back that. I think we'll see Derek Lewis take his shorts off at the end of the night and have something funny to say, and he definitely gets the bid. He's going to the White House. He's fighting on that special UFC canvas.
Absolutely. I'm going to actually go a little bit different here. I think that kind of what I said there when we were doing the summary of the fight, Derek Lewis is going to be, like you guys said, headhunting. I think that's what Waldo has trained for, is to, watch for those looping shots, see if he can't get inside, catch, Derek off guard a little bit. And I think that's where the opportunity is going to be. I'm calling either, just to be exact, because I would say it either late first round or early second round finish for Costa, but I'm going to go with late first round finish, and I think it's going to be off of Derek misstepping a little bit, headhunting, coming in too aggressive, and Waldo's going to catch him.
Yeah, he'll definitely be tired there at the end of the round too, so you could see that as well.
I mean, that could easily happen.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna get specific on my finish too and say I got Derek Lewis round one in the middle of the round. He's gonna hit him with one of those looping shots and it'll catch. And I don't think Waldo's, obviously he's fought Pavlovich, and he dropped to Pavlovich, and I think Lewis has that same power. You get hit hard like that and you drop, it might happen again. So,
And I believe Waldo's fight before last, Dillia. I believe Dillia is the best friend of Aspinall. I'm pretty sure that's the one, and he got an early finish on him as well.
We watched that
yeah,
one.
okay.
He's tough though. Waldo's tough, so I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, that was a dog fight. That was a dog fight for sure.
There
Absolutely.
was something weird that happened with the glove, right? He got poked in the eye or something. Am I thinking of the same one?
Yep. Dillia was winning up until the eye poke.
Yeah.
Right after that, when Waldo was able to.
Finish. Yeah.
Yep.
So who knows? We might see something like that too, where some crazy nut shot and they take that break and he comes back, and that's how fights work. It's wild sometimes. It's unexpected, but yeah, moving
That
on.
might have to be a talk we talked to you guys about the fingers things a lot. It's
Oh.
about split. Half of the MMA fighters say that is bullshit, that you can close your hands if you need to. And a lot of them say that the glove actually forces your hands open like that. We might have to do that on a separate interview and talk about what y'all's thoughts are.
Yeah.
We're going. All right, guys, we are going on to the co-main event where we have Suga Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Suga is 18-3 with one no contest. Song Yadong is 22-8-1 with one no contest. Looks like Suga here is going to have a 5-inch reach advantage. Song is fighting out of the orthodox position. Suga is a switch fighter, and he's also 3 inches taller on height and only 3 years older, so there's not going to be really a height disparity here where he's going to have to reach too much, but Sean does have that 5-inch reach advantage. When we go into breaking down this fight,
Got the show on.
when we go into breaking down this fight, hold on one second. I don't know why that's saying low. All right. Go down and breaking down this fight. Where are you seeing chance on this matchup here? Where are you leaning a little bit when you're looking at just kind of their past fights?
What I see is I see redemption, and I see it for Sugar Sean. I know he's sick and tired of taking those L's. So, new face, new opponent, new opportunity. I think Tim Welch is not going to let him walk out of there without getting his hand raised. I see him absolutely just putting on a mastercraft and piecing him up and just tearing him apart with strikes. Sugar all the way. I think, the best thing a fighter can do is redeem themselves after losing twice. So I definitely see Sugar walking away with a hand raise in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the where the fight is won and lost here is going to be, hold on one second. Where the fight's going to be won and lost here is actually between the coaches, I think, a little bit. I think if Song Yadong's coach, which is Uriah Faber, has trained him properly, he's watched these last two Marab fights and, leans into the wrestling a little bit more, as that's been a weak spot for Suga. And if Tim has prepared Sean correctly, they've also looked at the Marab fights and seen what they could do better, maybe to really keep his distance, which is what Sean has done well in the past, to stay on the outside, use his sniping a little bit. So I think it's more of a matchup between coaches of how well did they coach their fighter to prepare for this. I think that's where the discrepancy is going to be. What are you seeing, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely right here with Twin Bro. We do think alike, so we don't just look alike. So I think obviously I've been a Sugar fan since like 2022. So when he first started coming onto the scene,
Snoop
um,
Dogg.
yeah, yeah, sure. I think Sugar is back to the old Sugar. I think we see absolutely beautiful distance. He's going to be right outside of his range. He's got the reach advantage, like you said, 5 inches, and I think we see a lot of basketball dribbles. I think he gets the job done. I think he snipes him. You don't get me wrong. I've seen him throw some good shots. He's definitely got some good body shots. He can get in there if he gets close, but his wrestling is not Marab's. And
Yeah,
Yudong definitely wants to wrestle. Any fighter that sees Sugar's weak point is wrestling now. So, but I think Sugar definitely, you're right in terms of the coaching aspects. Tim has got him wrestling a lot with McMillan. So McMillan's tough as well. He wrestled and he put on a good wrestling defensive performance against the young Russian too in the UFC contract contender series fight. So I think McMillan's been giving him some good looks in camp. And I think Sugar's and Chance is saying new face, new opponent. We also have a new champion in that division as well. And I think Marab is his kryptonite, and he's a lot of bantamweight's kryptonites. But now that it's Jan and Sugar beat Jan, it was still controversial.
yeah,
A lot of people were happy to see Sugar win. But I think we see a hungry Sugar once again, and he wants to go toe to toe with Peter Yan. So
absolutely. The way to get that belt back, he sees a path on it. I mean, he has taken 2 losses in a row. I say it probably takes a little bit off the confidence that it is the same person. You didn't take 2 losses in a row from different opponents. I think Sugar's ready to prove himself, like you said. He's usually that's like his greatest thing is being able to maintain his distance snipe from the outside. He's a very sharp shooter with his shots. He makes it through on what a lot of people don't. And if he has trained properly for wrestling and everything like that, we forget like the knee that he landed on Cheeto. If Song is not as good of a wrestler as Marab, if he goes for a shot and takes that knee, I don't think he eats it the way that Cheeto did.
Right.
Cheeto's got a hell of a chin.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, maybe his coach could get him into trouble a little bit by saying, like, hey, you need to take him to the ground. And I could see that maybe happening in between a round or something. Maybe he loses the first round to Sugar, and then that's when Uriah is going to, tell him that it might be time to wrestle. And I think that might play into Sean's plan a little bit.
right, absolutely.
So we'll go ahead and get into the picks. I'll go ahead and go first on this one just to even it out a little bit. I'm going with Sugar Sean to win in round 3. And that kind of goes into what I was just saying there, where it's in between a round, maybe 2 rounds, when Uriah is starting to tell him, hey, we need to start, getting some rounds under our belt. And that's when he's going to eat something from Sean, kind of like even Aljo did too, who was a great wrestler and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu kind of guy. I think it's going to be when they call for that. They're definitely not going to let Tim yell at the other fighters anymore. So I don't think maybe that's going to affect him like Aljo says it affected him. But I think it's going to be Sugar Sean knockout in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up, Jay. I think that's exactly right. I think Sugar will knock him out, and it'll be in the 3rd round as well. I think we see a lot of frustration from Yudong. He's gonna come out and I don't want to say he's going to rush anything, but I see him, I don't really know how you prepare in a striking match for a guy like Sean with his body type. And you've seen Yadong, try to strike with a lot of guys. So, he's going to get thrown off by that, and it's going to just start to create a little bit of confusion. It'll be slow at first, and then Uriah will definitely tell him, "Hey, let's get inside, let's try to wrestle, get to the body," and that's when Sean's going to start really opening him up. And I see Sean having a lot of fun in the second round, getting back to that flow state and getting the crowd fired up, getting people, oh my gosh, that's Sugar. And then third round, you see the backdrop fadeaway J.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean with you guys as well. I'm gonna go Sugar Sean. I'm gonna go unanimous decision though. I see him just absolutely piecing him up through three rounds. I see the strike count being significantly high compared to Yadong's strike count. So I see a lot of good combinations coming from Sean, and I see Yadong shooting and Sean stuffing it, and then making him stand, and then just that same sequence repeating over and over again where Yadong's getting stuffed and Sean is just hitting him with nasty combos. I see a lot of that fight leaning towards Sean, and I see him getting his confidence back as well, where, he may set himself up again where he could be back in title contention shot as well. So perfect for Sean right now if he can just capitalize on this moment.
Yeah,
So
absolutely perfect. And I think after the victory, I think we see a call out to Jan. And I think we see a lot of people pushing for that fight again because that first fight was absolutely awesome with the
yeah,
red hair,
yeah.
the blood, it was, and that was Sean like truly coming up. And he was, he shocked a lot of people with that fight. So I love to see that one again too, personally. But I mean, obviously Marab's right there as well. So
Could be a White House fight.
Could
I have to
be.
say it
Could be.
depends on how he comes out of this one, but White House I think is going to be in June, before International Fight Week. I think they're aiming for like mid-June. If he could see himself put in a spot to maybe fight for the title at the White House, which would be something Suga is definitely interested in.
Yeah,
He's a man of the one once in a lifetime. He actually was the headliner for the Sphere card, so
yeah, it was.
there's a lot of opportunity out there for him. I think when you're looking at the last five fights, they look the same on record. They're both 3-2 in the last five. But if you're looking at Song Yadong's last five, he had a loss to Jan and a loss to Sandhagen. His two wins were against Gutierrez and Ricky Simone and Cejudo, which was a controversial. It was, I believe, they judged the rounds, but they didn't finish the fight. They made it halfway through the second round. Henry got poked in the eye.
yeah,
Yeah. So that one was kind of controversial. They tried to say that Henry didn't actually get poked in the eye, but I believe he actually did have to have like corrective surgery on it.
yeah.
I mean, that's controversial as well. And I believe that's been a minute ago. That's a couple months ago. So he hasn't had a full fight since Jan. I think it's all pointing towards Suga having a good night. And,
Oh yeah.
I hope so as well. He's a pretty cool, fun fighter to follow.
Absolutely. And he seems good, he's trying to create a little bit more of a brand for himself. And just looking at him through Instagram during fight week, he just looks a little bit refreshed. So I'm rooting.
Also, I don't know if it matters too much in the actual scheme of the fight, but it's also his daughter Elena's first fight that she actually is going to attend. So,
Okay.
he's got that little bit added motivation.
That'll definitely
Yeah.
up the stakes for him.
Yep. So I believe
It means something,
Yeah.
seriously.
absolutely. So I think that also is going to be in his mind too, that, he can't lose in front of his daughter's first fight. Doesn't want to scare her either. Also with him going out in that fashion. So
Absolutely.
we're going to go ahead and move on to the main event. Let's see. Get that pulled up. All right. The main event is going to be Justin, the highlight Gaethje versus Patty, the Batty Pimblett. Justin Gaethje's coming in at 26-5. Patty Pimblett is coming in at 23-3. Both fighting out of the orthodox position. Gaethje is 7 years older. The strikes landed per minute's relatively the same for everyone that says, Justin Gaethje's heavy on the output. Patty Pimblett's right there. I think just half of a strike less per minute. And the striking accuracy, Gaethje's a little bit more accurate, but it's not by much. So with you guys, where are you leaning? Let's go with Chase first. Where are you leaning in this matchup here?
Oh, Patty the Batty. Oh, Patty the Batty. Let me just. Okay, I know.
Oh shit! Hold on.
There's got us both of his pickle right now. Let's go.
Oh, what's up?
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to elaborate on it, right? So, that's definitely a controversial pick because a lot of UFC fans, a lot of UFC veterans, they're rooting for the highlight. He's been around. He's definitely not a young guy, and I think anyone that's been in the UFC game, they love to see those guys that deserve to win finally win.
Yeah.
And this is make or break for Justin. If he loses, he pretty much said it, hey, I'm gonna retire if I don't get this shot. So, I'd love to see it. I think it would be special, but you also have to beat someone standing in front of you that is super special. And I think that's Patty the Batty. So he definitely is no slouch. And he's been fighting since he's been scrapping. He's been scrapping since
He's
he's
16 years
yeah.
old.
Yep.
I think did he turn professional at 16?
Yep.
I-
And he fought like a 30-year-old dude at 16.
Oh, you're talking to one of the most fearless scouters out there. I mean, this kid is. We see something in the same way that Sean when he first got his title win against Aljo. That same type of night, I feel that same type of night's gonna happen for Patty. I see Patty with standing Justin's striking, which is so high level, so beautiful. Actually, I made a mistake there back in the day when it was the BMF title for Justin versus Poirier again. Poirier proved me wrong in that fight again. I was rooting for him that time, and he got head kicked.
Yeah.
And you saw the backflip from Justin. So I don't want to be wrong on this one. I'm gonna say Patty. I say he beats him. He actually surprises people. I think with the striking. I think he does. I think he blows right through it. I think you see Justin having a little bit of success in the beginning with the takedown defense. But you're talking about someone that's got a relentless gas tank, and he's going to keep coming. And I see him, either getting up to the cage and hitting that flying triangle, taking it to the ground, or even getting him, to the ground eventually. I could see, I'm calling Patty. I'm going to say he's going to ground and pound him. It's going to be a lot like Michael Chandler. It's going to be a lot like that fight where, Michael just can't withstand that blitz, and it's going to go to the ground. And I see maybe even a round two ground and pound finish from Patty the Batty.
Yeah, and I'm on the same path as well. I mean, Justin's great. He's the fan favorite. A lot of people love his style. He's very fearless. He comes from a wrestling background.
Yeah, he's a Division I All-American.
Yeah, me and Chase, we love the wrestlers. So
But he doesn't use that wrestling
He
anymore.
hates using it.
he hasn't, yeah, he
Just
hasn't since he
uppercut.
got to the UFC league. So I see Justin not being able to take the blitzes from Patty. I see a lot of gassing out, and I see Patty getting to his jiu-jitsu. I see Patty just being absolutely unstoppable within 3 rounds. I don't think they make it past championship round. So I see Patty doing his thing a lot, like Chase said, a lot like Michael Chandler. I see him blitzing him up on the cage and throwing some hooks in and getting that rear naked choke finish. I see a submission within 3 rounds.
Now, I want to say something here, Jay. Chance told me some tea earlier before the show started, and I want a chance to go ahead and put that on the show as well. So
Yeah, I don't know. You know how MMA they say the craziest stuff, but they were I saw some channel said that the patch on Justin's neck, if he doesn't pass skin checks, then Armin may be up to step in. Which I don't know if that's actually a fact or false, but me and Chase just saw that right before this. So
And if that's the case, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to Armin because Armin's a dog. But that's neither here or there. But I'm just saying that would be awesome to see.
Yeah, I've seen that too, that they're giving him to weigh-ins for it to heal. I haven't seen any videos of him today to see if that is even going to be possible. I feel like you would know today if it's going to be better tomorrow. It's not going to just disappear by tomorrow.
that's
I
right.
think it was I want to say it was like a staph infection they said that was in his neck, which, I mean, I feel like that would affect how you train as well.
That's
a
so
lot.
uncontrollable as a
Going through
fighter.
antibiotics, things like that, it could really dehydrate you. I think that could play a factor in people that have had to, late in their camp worry about things like that. If they do make the pass and do fight, usually their gas tank is affected by that.
Yeah.
If I knew you were gonna pick Armin if that happens, big Armin guy. I think that would be probably a more competitive fight as far as for Patty, definitely. It's someone that's going to force the wrestling. I don't think Patty's really had that in an opponent yet. As someone that's going to force the wrestling, he's fought a lot of strikers. I think one of the statistics here that is big is that Justin Gaethje, although he has a higher output strikes per minute slightly, he also absorbs more strikes per minute. He actually absorbs more strikes than he puts out. He absorbs about 7 per minute. You can't, if he eats 7 from Patty in a minute, I think he's going down.
Right.
Also, I think I kind of would discuss this with Chance previous. This is where I see it going, is that Patty starts to find his success early in the first 2 rounds. I think in round 3 is when he starts his cage pressure and pressures him against the cage. I think that's when Patty is going to take Justin's back, and we're going to see a rear naked choke finish. But that's every output of how I see this thing going.
I've seen that one probably more than most, is that he's going to get a hook in, pinning him to the cage, get a hook in, take his back. And I think from there, it's going to be mixed between whether Justin flattens out and tries to turn, or Patty's going to take the neck.
Yeah, you did see that against him against Charles. You know, he dropped.
And Khabib.
Yeah, Charles dropped him, took his back immediately, and Justin kind of freaks out. So, you know, that happens a lot with guys, especially when you're real tired and you
Or
can't find
dazed
your
and
breath.
confused,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you're getting choked. It usually happens pretty quick. So I could definitely see that happening as well.
And Khabib being a GOAT, but we look at what Justin did there. He actually had Justin in a situation that would have broke his arm in front of Justin's mom.
Yeah.
And he even had Khabib had such skill and Justin couldn't prevent it. He switched submissions and still got the finish within 30 seconds. He didn't have to bait him to anything. He just switched it and got the finish immediately after that. I think that kind of shows as a whole, even though you're a wrestler, is that someone had 2 submissions in their mind and they were able to take either one of them.
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal, especially with how good of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner Patty is.
Yeah.
I think that's a threat. What were you kind of talking about, jumping the triangle? I think if Patty, he probably will try it. I wouldn't, because if Justin can switch the weight on that and just go down into getting top position, I think that's where Patty would get damaged, is if Justin is sitting in that guard and just kind of firing off shots from the top. I could see where y'all are coming from that. I could definitely see him trying that, but I think that would probably be Patty's worst decision, I think, with who he's fighting.
For sure.
Let me just say too that that's such an original move to see out of a martial artist, to be able to climb up someone's body in a bad position. Let's say you're on the cage like that, you're supposed to be, kind of taking damage there. But for I've seen it multiple times in Cage Warriors too, where Patty will climb up the body, lock that triangle in, and get the finish. And a lot of guys, they go for that big slam, and Patty anticipates it. He knows how to catch himself and still have his legs locked. I mean, he hit a triangle as well on Bobby Green and
Put him to sleep.
put the king right to bed. So
And I said this in our
that could
previous
happen. I'm
yeah.
telling you, he's nasty with the triangle. So
In our previous conversation too, I do not see Justin giving a tap out to anything. So I see Justin going out on his limb, and we might
as a
see-
warrior,
we
as a
might-
soldier,
we might-
He
Yes,
does
he-
happen, yeah.
he might be asleep on the canvas by the end of the night, but
he's giving it everything he's got.
Yeah,
you
he's
know.
not holding back.
So, but I want to say too, I feel like Patty, he's gonna have to come up with something crafty, because Justin's that blue collar, hard nosed type of guy where it's gonna be a dogfight. So, I mean, another thing I can see too with Justin having some success is just being able to have that cardio. We haven't really seen Patty have the cardio
he'll
and
get pushed like that.
yeah, get put like let me give you an example. For instance, Conor McGregor, was amazing within the first couple rounds and could get the finish usually coming up through. But then you see him, go against someone with high cardio like Nate Diaz, and he gasses and freaks out, and Nate jumps on and takes his back. So, that's just something to throw out there, something for the fans to think of too. Patty, we haven't really seen the full cardio gas tank, because I know Justin's got it. And, that doesn't show in the stats, in terms of damage and things like that. But, Gaethje's got a gas tank. So,
Yeah, he trains at altitude, which helps a lot, being out of Denver. Also, I mean, if you're going to that, his fight with Flash Gordon, which is Patty's probably most controversial win. A lot of people had Gordon winning that fight.
yeah.
And even Patty will bring that up, that, he doesn't like how controversial that was and how close that fight was on the scorecards. I'd like to hope that he's prepared to go to the later rounds, but in every interview he said he's in his mind, this doesn't go into the championship rounds. He ends it in 3. So you got to wonder about if his confidence maybe didn't allow him to prepare for 5 rounds, that he's kind of just figured it's going to go in 3. So I definitely seen that's probably Justin's main game plan, besides catching him early, is to force it in the later rounds.
That's
Especially
exactly
if Patty's
Justin's game
tank
plan.
drops a little bit and his hands start to drop like that. That could be a big opportunity for Justin.
That's exactly, I think, his game plan too, going into the later rounds and chopping down the body and setting up a big hook or an uppercut to the head. So,
But if he's full of antibiotics, can he take it there?
Yeah.
That's staph infection.
another thing I want to say too is Patty is so good. He's just like McGregor, where he can get under your skin with that Scoutsa accent.
Yeah.
He can get under guys' skin. Like look at Ilya. Ilya does not like the blonde bitch.
Water boy, or what does he call him? Water bottle boy.
Right. So, but Justin, I think he loves Patty's energy. And when they're facing off, they're saying, let's effing do this.
Yeah.
So Justin is not scared of him, and he's definitely not, Patty's definitely not under his skin. So,
Justin's not that kind of guy to get riled up, really.
right.
Yeah, respectful fighter. And Patty,
sure.
I will say, yeah, he's been a little bit more reserved. He's not whipping out, the mushroom or calling him a helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
things like that. Like he's been known to do. He kind of actually has given Justin Gaethje his flowers a little bit, saying that it was one of his favorite fighters when he was just watching the UFC. So he's kind of giving his flowers in that aspect. But I think also maybe that gives Patty a leg up on him because he's been watching his tape for years. He knows, how he telegraphs things, what the lead up to certain combos, things like that are. And when you're getting that into that part of your career, you're not probably changing up too much because that just wastes time in your camp. You're just preparing to do your bet, whatever your game plan usually is. You're just trying to prepare to do that is, make sure that goes through as flawlessly as possible. Also, Patty has a little bit of reach, just 3 inches. So we'll just go ahead. We all have our picks in here. You guys ready for this card? First one on Paramount?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I love what Paramount's doing. Actually, we've been, leading up to my amateur fight, last weekend, I was just dialed in watching all the old fights. I went through and watched young Nick Diaz, and man, he was a killer and he inspired me a lot. So I think, getting to watch all the old fights too. Chance went through a series of DC there for a little bit. So we've been we've been splurging on our UFC Paramount Plus right now, and we're excited to see how they present it. So I already saw the face-offs there with how they were doing it, and I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. So, and then obviously we're all saving money, and who doesn't like to save money? So,
Oh yeah, the price point on a year savings is unreal. That you can watch every UFC fight for $60. So it's where we want to be because the year before it's $80 a month to get the number cards is absolutely ridiculous. And even during that ESPN thing, Dana was like, we never told them to go to $80. We didn't want them to go over $60, but that was more of an ESPN thing. I mean, they're doing it even with like WWE now, where you have to pay like $45 a month when you used to pay like $7 a month to watch WWE. So ESPN, I've heard, is hemorrhaging money, and they shouldn't have lost the UFC. But I'm excited for Paramount. They also have Zuffa Boxing starting on Friday too. Callum Walsh, King Callum is fighting, and they showed Patty and actually King Callum hanging out. I think it was today. So maybe he even gives him a couple boxing tips to get him ready to go.
there you go. I think you see a lot of those watch parties when, UFC and ESPN were together. But now what's exciting is you get a lot more fans with that price. So, and that's what it's about. So hopefully by the time, 2032, when we're in the UFC, we'll have a lot of people watching and saving money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The family's a lot more families able to watch. You also spread your, like you said, your fan base a little bit. Because I mean, in America, maybe we can make the $80 work, but in like other countries, our money's a little bit more scarce. Like the price point allows their families to watch, spreads fan bases to all over the world, which is really what the UFC is trying to do. But yeah, I'm excited for it. We will definitely have you guys on for like meet the fighter interviews, so our fan base can learn a little bit more about you guys and about your journey in mixed martial arts, things like that, and maybe even what your goals are for future fights in your career. But I'm glad you guys jumped on with me today.
Hey, we're not betting men. So if these people are watching and they're taking our picks, we want a little bit of that coin, brother.
Hey.
Also too, Jay, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, man.
If you don't care, we're gonna go ahead and shout out our socials. So
yeah, absolutely. Your camps, whatever you got.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me personally on my Instagram. It's Cut to the Chase M. And then also too, we have our camp page. So we host wrestling clinics. We also teach technique, sometimes post some funny videos if we're feeling a little bit fearless. That's called fearless.wrestle. That's on Instagram. We have a Facebook. We also have a TikTok as well. So you can find any of our social on fearless.wrestle. And then for me personally, it's Cut to the Chase M on any socials. So
Yeah, and then for me, it's Take a Chance M on all socials. So Take a Chance M, all socials. Besides X, I don't have X, and then fearless.wrestle as well. We both share that page. So follow us. We consistently post. We're always trying to spread as much, just like Parlay or Die. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
2 growing pages. So support the cause, and we're just gonna make amateur West Virginia MMA that much better.
amen.
Absolutely.
Like, yep, I'm Chase.
Chance.
Cut to the Chase M.
Take a chance.
And we're going to go ahead and throw those socials and everything on a graphic right after this here ends. I'm sure y'all guys are going to get some followers here. People love watching the, build up to fights, the behind the scenes kind of stuff, see what fighters go through. And you guys are the real deal. So
Thank
we're
you.
excited for y'all's next fight. We got our fingers crossed. We might have to put in Keith's here that y'all are ready for April in Parkersburg, West Virginia card.
Yeah.
Get both the Morgans on there.
Yeah.
But we will definitely, in the lead up to that, whatever y'all's next fight are, we'll have y'all back on.
Awesome,
sir.
Jay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Hey,
Bye.
shoot.
Shoot. Thank you guys.
27, your winner at the red corner.
With us, you're always just one leg away from legendary.
Congratulations, you're here after your 3-round. How are you feeling?
Dangerous.
Dangerous. How do you feel that the fight went? Did it go according to the plan you went into the cage with, or did you have to adapt?
Yeah, every fight is different, and every fighter is different. So, our training camp was primarily striking, defense strikes. I felt like, I stuck to my game plan, and at the end of the day, I'm fashion, so I couldn't be any happier with it.
Your striking game showed a lot during that fight. You threw a spinning back fist early, also threw a heel kick.
Yeah.
Were there any other striking moves that you were working in camp that you might have wanted to throw?
Absolutely, when you're in the cage, it all comes at once. I was actually trying to implement in my camp a axe kick, so I really like to solution, and just wanted to throw that, but I was just a little bit more focused on my wrestling and trying to beat. So it's cool to be flashy with feet, and I enjoy striking a lot. I've gotten a lot better at it, but when you're going against a 3-0 boxer, who's more than likely going to fight for the constant title of your own this promotion, you want to stick to your game and take it serious.
Now you're the first 2 rounds. From our side, it looked like you had a slight advantage point-wise going to the 30. Did your side tell you that? Going to the 3rd round, what were you thinking? How did that play into your decision?
Yeah, as a fighter, you kind of understand and you can game plan. And I knew, for the most part, the fight was 2-0. And I'll be honest, we were looking for a decision. We were looking for a finish. But I'll be honest as well, too. Game out. That's just what happens in the fight. You train for more than that. So I just had to adapt to that, the fatigue and fight through it. And I think I still finished, finish. I didn't show that as much, but I just wanted to finish and say good words. So.
Well, you definitely went in and showed your dominance there with a 30-27 victory. How long do you think you'll be down in between camps, and when are you looking to get back in the game?
Yeah, great question. I'm always looking for the next thing, the next best opportunity. So, I feel pretty good. We'll see how tomorrow morning goes. But, whatever the Lord wills, I'm going to be trying. I'm going to try to be as active as possible and just get in the cage when I'm ready. So that could be spring, early, or it could be late in the spring. We'll see. But, I'm definitely trying to get my amateur record up there, and I want to be more well known. So this is just the beginning.
Absolutely, we'll help you with getting more well known. I know your brother is eyeing the April card.
Yes.
Is there a chance we can see both the Morgan brothers on the April card?
That would be awesome. I'd totally be up for it. This is a grappling belt, so that might be something that's calling my name is defending that. But if I want to, get back, I'm not the MMA. So if grappling is my calling for the next couple fights, then that's fine. But I definitely enjoy MMA, and I want to get out there in the MMA sense.
Absolutely, you put some great violence out there. Thanks. We're excited for your next fight.
Thank you, boys. I appreciate it. Hey, give this page a follow, and these guys are great with content. I just appreciate them helping us out, and I'll do anything to help you guys out as well.
Absolutely, thanks, boys. Street pitching.
So that's parlay or die. Please remind you, with us, you're always just one leg away from legendary.
Hey, shoot or shoot.
Go, shoot or shoot.
Guys, that is everything we had. We said it was abbreviated, so the fact that it's over already, we told you so. I hope you enjoyed it while it was going on. We sure did.
The candle that burns twice as bright burns twice as fast. Blade Runner.
But guys, we hope everyone enjoys their sports weekend. You have high-level sports going on in football and MMA, and NBA and hockey are still happening.
Not to mention, next week we have the Pro Bowl, the most exciting football game of the year.
Pro Bowl episode's going to be a great episode. Also, another UFC numbered card is next weekend because Paramount was like, y'all waited 5 weeks for UFC. Bang, bang!
Yeah.
Bang, bang. So another UFC numbered card, pretty much like what would used to have been a pay-per-view, happening again the next week.
Sorry, I spaced out because I was thinking about how UFC is owned, and they've now merged with the WWE.
TKO group.
And WWE is on Netflix. This is on Paramount Plus, which is CBS. And there was a big thing online about Netflix trying to buy HBO stuff, but Warner Brothers, a conglomerate of...
They're wanting to buy Warner Brothers, which would include HBO.
Gotcha. Netflix are trying to buy Which is interesting because they already have subsidiaries that are within both companies.
I think that it's gonna. They claim. I think it's already happened, but it's just not final. Because Netflix is saying that all Warner Brother properties that they will own will go to. They will resume what Warner Brothers is doing currently, which is that it will go for a theatrical run before ever being on a streaming service.
Yeah.
And Netflix said we are going to continue that, but then Sarandos, who's the guy who runs Netflix, also added in, we're Netflix, we're the best at everything. So if we're going for theatrical releases, we're aiming to be the best at theatrical releases that is out there. You should just do that with whatever business you're in. Dumb shit. It's not a business tip. Like if I want to make fucking snow cones, I want to be the best snow cone maker in my area, or people are going to go buy snow cones elsewhere.
Yeah.
So Sarandos, you're not a fucking genius for just stating the obvious, but they're wanting to, continue. Warner Brothers as a filmmaking studio, they're still going to do the theatrical releases. What I think Netflix should do, which they already have in major markets, I think there's like 3 in the country, they're called Netflix houses, where they have like pretty much like a Netflix museum kind of, where you can like take pictures and stuff, like different things. There's like restaurants in it, but also has movie theaters where you can watch their movies and things like that in a theatrical type scene.
That's kind of neat.
I'm wondering if they would take those to more markets than the 3 that they have. I think there's one in Philadelphia, and LA, and somewhere else.
Well, even just putting up a Netflix theater only would be
Yeah,
something.
but you have enough movie properties now that you could definitely do your own theaters and have only your movies playing in them.
Yeah.
And, with Warner Brothers now as an acquisition as well, DC movies would be under their thing. James Gunn acts like it's changing anything. I don't think it is. They claim they're not. Like Netflix, like if we buy, we're not changing DC. We're going to leave it the way it is, but he's like, there's a lot of shit still up in the air where we're being bought. I think he's just being a bitch. One thing they effectively did do, though, is they said, which it's been done for years, I haven't been looking for any updates on it at all, is that they said Netflix will be killing the Zack Snyder universe. Like, it's not, there will be no more discussions that they could have another movie or that
It's already.
extended cuts are going to come out.
I thought it was already dead. I could.
That's what I thought, too. I'm glad we're moving on.
Yep.
And speaking of moving on, we're moving on, guys.
Yeah, we went off on a tangent. Sorry,
A
guys.
little bit of a comic talk there, and movie studios, and really just a catch up that y'all all deserve.
Yeah.
Just the whole world.
We're just regular guys. We talk about other shit besides sports.
We have other interests.
But that's all we've got today for this show. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Follow us on all of our social medias: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We post videos, content daily, sometimes daily. Sometimes we don't get around to it. It happens. Follow, like, and subscribe for all of those contents that come out when we feel like it. Jay, anything else?
Whatnot QR code that you've seen within the episode here, make sure to use that. It's also been on our socials. It was on Twitter or TikTok.
Yeah, popping around.
TikTok, Instagram stories, things like that. Guys, use it. Helps out the brand a lot, as we've said in the promo. Also, guys, we've said it already once in this episode. When you're betting with us, you're always one leg away from legendary. Thank you, guys. It's my first time ever hitting it.
Hell yeah.